Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing good. Hope you're all doing fine, guys. And I hope you're having a lovely week. So far, guys, of course, it is Thursday, the 18th. Is it the 18th? It's the 18th of September. Already halfway through the month, guys. Time is flying. Now, guys, before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Smash a like on the video, all that sweet stuff, notifications on, absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, of course, guys. Now, let's get straight into it, of course, guys. Now, look, you know what? I think you're probably tired about hearing the name Carlos Baleba. Carlos Baleba, obviously, was the talk of the town, the man on everyone's lips over the summer, of course, and it was deemed that we were going to sign Carlos Baleba. The noises that were coming out of Manchester United is that we've already got this deal signed, sealed, and delivered. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And Manchester United didn't quite have the money to buy Carlos Baleba, which obviously looks bad now, considering how much profits we've made over the fiscal year, of course. So when we think about Carlos Baleba now, we're now thinking that now Manchester United have to get this deal done. Liverpool have emerged as contenders for Carlos Baleba's signature. This has alerted Manchester United, and Manchester United have been put on alert in regards to trying to solidify a deal for Carlos Baleba before Liverpool and teams of that nature get their dirty mittens involved. We know once Liverpool, once Real Madrid, PSG, Man City, Chelsea, whoever it is, get involved in this transfer, they will have a good chance of signing this player, in particular if Man United are unstable and we do not qualify for the Champions League. Now, this deal here is not going to be done in January. As I've said many, many times, the deal will not be done in January. Manchester United are trying to arrange a verbal agreement with Baleba's representatives and Brighton Hove Albion about having a pre-agreement that could be activated next summer. So Man United can basically walk into the summer window and get Baleba straight away, which would be a fantastic start to the window. As many of us were shouting and screaming about Baleba during the summer, we've kind of been proven right in regards to Man United in regards to our midfield, because our midfield does look a little bit Fred and Bear, doesn't it? But this is not over with Manchester United and Carlos Baleba. There's something going on there that Manchester United want this deal to be done quickly in case teams like Liverpool get involved, which they are currently doing. Liverpool are currently getting involved in this deal, and they want to sign Baleba to play in their midfield. Now, look, what Manchester United must do, Man United must get some kind of agreement. And this is what I said during the summer. Why don't Man United do an agreement then with an obligation to buy? Why didn't they do that? Why didn't they come up with some kind of agreement with Brighton? It's almost like they didn't want to do it. And now look at the repercussions. Look what's going on in the league right now when we're looking at how we're doing in the league and how badly we're doing. But it's not over. Man United, I believe, may get Carlos Baleba next summer, although we're going to have to try and get an agreement going on, a pre-agreement going on, and an agreement with Brighton as well, because Liverpool will snap him up very quickly if we're not careful. And this has put Manchester United on red alert. Man United are on red alert, and they are aware of Liverpool's interest, and that is all basically triggered Manchester United into acting on this deal. So don't be surprised if you hear quite a little bit more about Carlos Baleba coming up within a few weeks and months. Maybe even January might hear about it. Now, another player, maybe a forgotten man in football, is Ruben Neves. Ruben Neves, of course, used to play in the Premier League with Wolverhampton Wanderers, is a Portuguese international, 60 caps for Portugal, currently playing in Saudi Arabia with Al Hilal at the moment. Now, he's still a very, very good player. Very good player. And Ruben Amorim is a huge admirer of Ruben Neves. And I think Man United have been interested in Ruben Neves in the past and haven't quite got there in regards to striking a deal, of course. He's worth about 25 million euros. It's about 17 million pounds, which is not too bad. It is not bad at all. Now, the key is here is that Kobbie Mainoo has become disgruntled with the lack of playtime, the lack of opportunities at Man United at the moment. So Manchester United could quite possibly do a deal in January with Kobbie Mainoo going elsewhere and Man United bring in Ruben Neves as basically a kind of stopgap in regards to a Baleba coming in, a Wharton coming in next summer, of course. So this is going to be very interesting in regards to the Mainoo situation. We haven't heard the last of the Mainoo situation. The Mainoo situation is quite interesting because, you know, Mainoo is not happy. Mainoo is disappointed by the lack of gameplay. Now, when we're thinking about the game on Saturday, Cunha is not ready. Cunha is not ready to be risked. Insiders at Manchester United have spoken. They said that Cunha is not ready to be risked on Saturday. So what does that mean? Now, all we want is the right lineup. We want the right lineup. There is a no-brainer here. Again, the same thing that's going on today. There is a no-brainer here in regards to Cunha, in regards to Mainoo, in regards to Fernandes. Now, Cunha's not going to be playing. So Kobbie Mainoo needs to move into that number 8 position. Bruno needs to move into that number 10 position. Ahmad needs to stay on that right wing. That's what needs to happen, in my opinion, if Man United want to get anything out of the game on Saturday. Of course, Chelsea played yesterday, got absolutely mullered by Bayern München, 3-1. I mean, what's Baril doing to me? The overriding thing that comes out of that game for me is I seen Garnacho passing the ball. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I see Garnacho passing the ball. It's crazy. Ridiculous. But Man United need to play. Bring it back to Man United. Man United need to play the right system on Saturday. Now, look, it would have been so much better if Man United did sell Bruno. We know that. It would have been so much better if Man United used that money to bring in Carlos Baleba. It would have been brilliant. It would have been perfect for Man United. And probably, just maybe, we might have been in a little bit of a better position right now. I mean, many of us are screaming out about it. But that's not to say that we exempt Ruben Amorim from all criticism. We don't exempt Ruben Amorim from anything. He is responsible, for example, Saturday last week when we played Man City, and he didn't play Bruno number 10 and he didn't play Mainoo. And obviously that was the biggest mistake in the game that he made alongside Luke Shaw playing in that game, which was disappointing because I don't believe Luke Shaw should have played in that game. But my biggest issue is this. We got a fan base, right? A section of social media fans who believe that you should have one or the other. You're in or you're out. Nobody wants to see you in the middle. Nobody wants to see you talking about context, talking about the ins and outs, the birds and the bees, about what's going on at Manchester United and the reasons that we're not good enough at the moment. We could say, get Ruben Amorim out. And by all means, look, if they want to do it, sack him, do it, but I want to see the plan. I want to see what's going on here because we could sack Ruben Amorim. We could play a 4-3-3. But as we know in the past, we're still going to have the same midfield. Certain players are going to be dropped, and then certain players are going to be Player FC, and then those Player FC fans are going to be turning on Ruben Amorim. It does beg a belief. It does beg a belief because I don't think this 3 games you have to win. We got 3 games. Ruben Amorim has 3 games to save his job. I think this is absolute nonsense. I'll tell you why. Because when I think about Manchester United and I think about it, look, I think about any occupation, right? I think about anything in life, relationships and anything in life. When you're talking about a manager having only 3 games left to save his job, that means basically you're kicking the ball down the road. You don't really believe in this manager. So my theory is this. If you do not believe in this manager, 100%, sack him. Do it, because we could talk about, keeping him here and kicking the ball down the road. You're basically saying, like, if he doesn't win the next 3 games or he doesn't do well in the next 3 games, he's out of the job. It's a bit like saying, you know what? I'm a relationship with my wife. She cheated on me once. And I'm like, you know what? Don't worry, just don't do it again. I'll be right back. Next time I'm gonna leave you. Next time I'm gonna leave you. If you do that again, I'm gonna leave you if you do that. It's a bit like that. Now we all know what the issue is at Man United. We know that the Glazers are a problem, the Ineos are a problem. They didn't back Ruben Amorim to a level that he should have been backed. But of course, we also know that we should be doing better. I understand context. I understand it from both points of view. And I respect people's point of view. If they can come at me with respect, I respect their point of views. I respect the fact that they're Amorim out. And I respect that people are Amorim in as well. I'm in the middle because I don't believe in labels. I don't believe in labels. I believe in what's good for Man United. I sympathize with Ruben Amorim. I know what's going on at Manchester United. He's mentioned that there are things going on behind the scenes that we don't even know about. Right? And he wouldn't say that if there wasn't. And as Cristiano Ronaldo said, Ralph Ragnick said, of course, Jose Mourinho has spoken about it as well. There are problems at this football club that are fundamentally wrong problems at this football club. And these fundamental problems at this football club are the reason we're not successful. Now, I know for a fact, and I hope I'm proven wrong, that if Ruben Amorim does leave this football club, that we're going to play a 4-3-3. And you know what? It's going to, in 6 months' time, we're going to have a couple of bad results. And then that's it. We're all going to be turning against the manager again. I know that 100%. I just don't even need anyone to tell me. Remember, Erik ten Hag came third, won 2 trophies, right? And one of those trophies was beating Manchester City in the FA Cup final. You know, I mean, and then you think about that and you think that people still wanted him out. Man United could be second in the league, right? And we would still find an excuse to moan and groan and say, he's not good enough. Look at this, look at that, comparing with this and comparing with that. You know, this summer was supposed to be one of Manchester United's most important summers, possibly in our history, possibly in our recent history. This summer window was supposed to be the window. This was Ineos to show themselves. This was Ineos to prove to us that they truly care what is going on at this football club and what is going on the pitch. Unfortunately, it wasn't. It was a 4 or 5 out of 10, you know. And obviously, Ruben Amorim has suffered because of that. Yes, I know it's not all their fault. Ruben Amorim picks the team. I know that. And I'm not dismissing that. This is what I'm talking about. People want me to say, get Ruben Amorim out of my club. Get him out now. He's no good. He's rubbish. He's this. Get him out. Or people want me to say, I love Ruben Amorim. He's this. Trust the manager. What are you talking about? He can't do nothing wrong. I'm in the middle with this. And I want people to understand this. I just don't want to sack another manager. Of course, I don't want to sack another manager because obviously we're going to get a backlog of players again from the previous manager. I don't want to do that, but needs what needs must. If he doesn't get the results, I understand the business. I've been in football 40 years. I understand the business. You need to get results. But you also understand mitigating circumstances. I also understand the context. I know, and smart people do. And smart people will evaluate the pros and the cons. What's the pros and what's the cons? Because there is pros and cons. Nothing is guaranteed in football. Nothing at all is guaranteed in football. Whether you get a new manager in, we can even get a Jurgen Klopp in, we can get a Ancelotti in. Nothing is guaranteed at this football club. Manchester United is a toxic mess, as I said many, many times. We're a derelict building that hasn't been fixed. We're still asbestos, so we're trying to buy new furniture in that derelict building. And it's an analogy that I've been bringing up time and time again because I think it's a really good analogy. I think it does really epitomize what we are right now in regards to a football club, and that when you look at the football club as a whole and not just individualize it into one thing. There are many problems at this football club, and I hope these things are fixed. But one thing I would say, if they've given Ruben Amorim 3 games to save his job, apparently according to media, if they've given him 3 games to save his job, then just remove him now because you don't believe in him. You don't believe it. You're kicking the ball down the road. And that's what I would say about that. Either give him a vote of confidence or don't say anything at all. Don't talk about how we need to sack him in 3 games if he doesn't get the results. If he doesn't get the results, he needs to go anyway. We know that. And not only him, there's other managers in the Premier League. If they lose 3 in a row or they get 1 point in 3, they're going to be risk of getting sacked, isn't it? Andy Postecoglou is started really badly at Nottingham Forest. He's already lost 2 in a row. You know what I mean? We need to either back this manager, I'm talking about the ownership, or sack him. Do it now. If you're going to do it, if it's already implanted in your head that we're going to remove Ruben Amorim after these 3 games, then just do it. Because at the end of the day, you're just prolonging the inevitable. Like I said, it's like a relationship, someone's cheated on you, and you're giving them another chance. It's already in their mentality to cheat on you. It's already in their mentality to lose. It's not working. So what do you want to do? You can either say, okay, Ruben, we're going to back you. We're going to get Baleba. We're going to get Wharton. We're going to get the players that you need in the football club. We're going to get Ruben Neves for you. We're going to get this. We're going to back you to the hill. And then come out in the media and say, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to back Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim's our guy. And then they can either do that or they say, look, Ruben, it's not worked. That's football. Sorry, mate. Here's your 12 million. Goodbye. Thank you. There's 2 things they can do there, right? Doing this middle ground thing, kicking the ball down the road, you know what I mean, and hoping that it goes in a goal is not what you do. It's not what I would do. I would be decisive in my decisions. And this is the problem with Ineos, right? They have not been decisive. They've been indecisive. They made bad decisions, right? And already with Ashwood, with Erik ten Hag, And maybe now it might come with a Ruben Amorim as well. You know, this might be the problem, guys. Guys, let me just say hello to everyone in the stream. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome. Hope everyone is blessed. I hope you're all good. Ephraim, good morning. Good to see you, Ephraim. Hope you're doing well. Sal's in Pep wanting. I haven't heard anything about Pep Guardiola. I've heard about Newcastle United are in for Kobbie Mainoo. They're very interested in Kobbie Mainoo. That's one of the options, I think. Good morning, Saviour. How you doing? Beat Chelsea and the coach should start Lamens in goal and Ugarte midfield, Ugarte Mainoo in midfield. Heaven, Delict, Euro, defence, Cunha. I like the team. I like the team, Saviour. You're just like me. What do you want me to say, Saviour? I agree, brother. I agree with that lineup. I think it's the lineup that we need to do. I think Kobbie Mainoo and Ugarte should start in the midfield. I think Bruno should start as the number 10. Look, guys, look, those who, I want to clarify something, okay? Those of you guys were here when I was trying to bring down the three at the back. Do you remember when I was saying the three at the back don't work? Do you remember that? And I was saying it time and time again. Three at the back don't work in the Premier League, blah, blah, blah. Now, look, I would bring in Glasner. I would bring in the old AC Milan team, the Barcelona team of the past, the Brazil team of the past, Antonio Conte, of course. But I've never been a fan of the three at the back, and that's just me. In my humblest of opinion, if Ruben Amorim wants to do something, there's no shame in changing your system. Because people understand that we don't have the players there to implement the system that you want to play, 100%. So there's no shame in changing things. I don't believe we should. I think he just needs to crack on with it. And I think these players are to blame. But if he really wants to shut the noise up, just play a 4-2-3-1. And then when you play that 4-2-3-1, you still have the two double pivots in the midfield. You could play Bruno, you could play Mbeumo, and you could play Cunha in that midfield. And you could play Ahmad if Cunha is not available. You know, so that's what I'm talking about here. You know, and at the end of the day, look, the minimum I want to see at this weekend is I want to see Bruno as the 10 and I want to see Mainoo in the midfield. That's the minimum I want to see. I don't want to see any messing about now. I don't like this Bruno midfield situation. And I don't think, honestly, if you ask Bruno honestly, that Bruno Fernandes likes this midfield situation where he's playing in the number 8 position. I don't. If Bruno starts as the number 8 position, of course, I'm going to be supporting my football club. I'm going to be hoping that we beat Chelsea. But I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be happy because if we lose, he's setting himself up for the barrage of criticism. Just keep football simple. Keep football simple. Play the players in their correct positions. We got enough issues to deal with, right? Without having to deal with a midfield that we don't need to shuffle. We don't need to play Bruno as number 8. Right? We've got players who can play the number 10s and number 8. We've got a player there. You can even bring in Kone if you want to bring in Kone. You know, you can bring in players if you want to bring them in. You know, and this is the thing. You know, you don't create problems for yourself. Myself, okay, and this is my opinion, my humblest of opinion, guys. If we lose the game against Chelsea, I think that Ruben Amorim should walk. And it's not that I want him to walk. It's not that I want him to be sacked. I feel that this pressure and the noise will become unbearable. I don't want to give it 3 games. I think this game on Saturday needs to be it. He needs to get the results now. Enough is enough. He needs to do it now. He needs to get the results. Enough is enough. I'm going to be supporting him all the way. And everyone knows I'm going to be supporting him all the way. Just like I did with Ten Hag. I'm going to support them all the way. You know, and I wish him all the best wherever he goes. So I think he's a fantastic manager. Unfortunately, Manchester United are in a situation where we can't afford to be wasting time. We can't afford to be waiting too long. We can't anymore. And this is one thing I would say. Big up UK, Darren. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. We can't sell players wise, so Amorim's future is in doubt. Big up, Darren. Hope you're doing well. Lucky Scumful again. Look, let me talk about Liverpool briefly. Liverpool, they've got the Man United disease. And let me tell you what that is. It's basically when Man United used to win games by hook or by crook. We used to win games, and we used to do it a lot in the last minute and stuff like that. This is what Liverpool are doing at the moment. They're doing what we used to do back in the day. You know what I mean? And I mean, fair play to them. You can't say anything, but they're getting the results. And can they live off that? Can they sustain that? I don't know. It depends what they are. It depends if they're becoming the Fergie time team. You know what I mean? And I hate saying that, you know, and they seem to get the results even when they're not playing particularly well. And that is a sign of a good team, isn't it? And it's not a good bowl for us. It's not a good bowl for our 20 titles. It's disappointing. Good morning, Randall. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Sal Reds. Baleba in January. Hopefully, Amorim will sign. Will still be in charge. Big up, Eric, my friend. I hope you're doing well. I honestly think that Man United will go more on the lines of Ruben Neves in midfield and then wait for Baleba in the summer. Brighton and Hove Albion won't want to sell Baleba in January. They want to keep Baleba in January, just like Crystal Palace want to keep Adam Wharton in January, obviously, because all these teams have got their own personal objectives in the season, haven't they? So what Man United are doing, Man United are trying to organise a pre-agreement with Carlos Baleba so that when it comes to the summer, we've already got like a kind of obligation to get Carlos Baleba in, which will be good because obviously then we will be saving time, you know. If we get a Ruben Neves as a stopgap, I think that would be good. I think it'd be good. It'd be better than Gallagher. I think that would be a good move for Manchester United. I really do. But obviously, he's not only wanted by Man United, he's also wanted by other teams in Europe. Atletico Madrid, Tottenham Hotspur are also interested in Ruben Neves. Man United, though, £17 million, 25 million euros. I think it's a no-brainer. Go and get that deal done. Now, sacking Ruben Amorim will cost around that much. It will cost around 25 million. Why would it cost 25 million? Obviously, because obviously he's coaching staff and getting another manager in. It's going to cost money, especially that manager is already at a football club. Good morning, Gary. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, Gary. Hope you're blessed. Ineos should support the club by buying a midfielder and a right wing back. Nothing will blame the coach. Give the coach what he wants, please. Exactly, Saviour. And I like these comments from you, Saviour, because this is exactly right. This is what I was banging on about all summer. People think I was raising my blood pressure, talking about this, talking about the right wing back, talking about the midfield, because I'm just trying to get clicks and likes. And that's not what it is. I want this football club to do well. And I envisioned, as other people envisioned as well, I envisioned that this was going to be a problem. The midfield is going to be a problem. We can have whoever we want up front, but whilst we got Bruno Fernandes as that number 8, we're going to suffer. And now we are, oh boy, we are suffering at the moment, guys, ain't we? We are suffering tenfold at the moment. And I just believe that they should have backed in 100%, and they didn't. They backed in 40% tops. 30-40% tops, guys. And I'm sorry, but that is just what it is. I would have liked them to do 80-90%. They backed him. You know, because when you're looking at the team, yeah, they bought Cunha, Embremo, and Sesko. And then they bought a young left wing back, and they bought a young goalkeeper. That is not a rebuild. That is not a rebuild. Where's the midfield? Where's the extra defender? Where's the right wing back? Are these young players going to be good enough to go straight into that side right now? And this is what we have to understand. And this is why I weren't giving Ineos a 7 out of 10, an 8 out of 10, and things like that. You know what I mean? Which was absolutely ridiculous what people were doing. They're giving 7 and 8 out of 10. It was madness at the end of the day. Good morning, Sanjay. How you doing? Good morning, Ellen. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Of course, Saviour. We need to sign Baleba in January. Nothing like waiting for next season. They won't sell him, Saviour. Man United ain't got the money. And then let me tell you why they ain't got the money, mate. We all want him, and I wish we did do that, Saviour. I hope we do that. Please, can we do that? But at the end of the day, they don't have the money in this fiscal year to spend 100 million. They don't. Man United don't have the money. Of course, the books suggest otherwise. Man, you got loads of money, haven't they? But in regards to the transfer funds that Man United have, we don't have the funds to buy Baleba in January. Man United will buy Baleba in the summer. And the January transfer window, Man United will obviously have to look at FFP, have to look at PSR as well in regards to that. Obviously, if we go over that, we're going to end up in problems with the PSR and deducted points and fined and stuff like that, which they don't want. Now, I believe that Man United should have done something in regards to Baleba. Man United should have signed Baleba by now. But if they didn't sign him in the summer, what makes you think they're going to sign him in January? They're going to wait until the next fiscal year. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to do that. And as much as we should do that, as much as we're crying out for that, they're not going to do that, in my opinion. Morning, James. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Benny. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, of course. Gary, I would not let Mainoo go to any prime team if he leaves. It would be out to Europe. At the end of the day, look, you know, we sold Garnacho to Chelsea, and I watched Garnacho. I actually catched up with a lot of the football this morning, and I wasn't impressed with Garnacho. I thought Garnacho was what he is. The shocking thing for me was the fact that he was passing the ball. I was shocked horror. I think Garnacho was passing the ball, but you know, I wouldn't like that either, Gary. I wouldn't like Mainoo to go to Newcastle or any other team. I know that, you know, but if they're the only teams that are in for him, what do we do? You know, there will be other teams in for him. Of course there will be. There will be teams around Europe who are going to be in for him. But most of these teams around Europe don't want to pay money. You know, so it looks likely that if Kobbie Mainoo doesn't play from this moment right now until January, it does look like that Kobbie Mainoo will be leaving the football club, whether that's on loan or that's in a permanent deal. Now, it's quite obvious that Ruben Amorim prefers Bruno in that midfield. We all disagree. I know that. But what can I do, guys? What can I do? I can't do anything about it. All I can do is hope that this message gets to Ruben Amorim and Ruben Amorim plays the right team. Ruben Amorim plays Bruno as number 10 and plays Kobbie Mainoo in the midfield. That's all I can hope for, you know. But it is what it is. Ellen, in my opinion, Bruno needs to be moved to the bench. Ellen, look, you know what? I agree with you. I agree with you, Ellen, 100%. I think after what you said about Lenny Yoro and the team and the manager, I think that should be punished. I mean, obviously, I come from a generation where Roy Keane was sacked. I'm not saying that he should be sacked, but what it is, he should be learned that some things are just past the line. You crossed the line there. He crossed the line there. Garnacho crossed the line. Sancho crossed the line. Bruno has crossed the line. We can't show favoritism to these guys. At the end of the day, he needs to be told, I don't care who you are, what captain you are. David Beckham has been dropped at Man United for Luke Chadwick. You know what I mean? In the past, you know, because of outside influences. You know, so why Bruno, what he did, especially to a player like Lenny Yoro, who's only improved since he's been at Man United. The great thing about Lenny Yoro, right? He made mistakes in his opening first few games, but you started to see the improvement. And Lenny Yoro has gone on leaps and bounds, and he's improved. And for me, he's close to being a generational defender. I think that Real Madrid are right. Real Madrid are fuming they let Lenny Yoro slip through their fingers. You know, so what is Bruno Fernandes doing? So Bruno Fernandes made a mistake, and then he's putting all the blame on Lenny Yoro. And that is basically what happened. He's exempt from blame, and he didn't want to take accountability. Big up, Ellen. But I agree, he needs to be dropped. Ephraim, Sal, I'm filming about yesterday, Liverpool, how they always get, they do not deserve. I mean, they started like a house on fire. They got 2-0 up after 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And I was like, well, here we go. Absolutely brilliant from them. Do you know what I mean? But you're absolutely right. But what does that show you, Ephraim? What does that show you? What is the ultimate characteristic here? You know, never say die attitude, resilience. Keep going right to the last second of the game. And that is what Liverpool have been doing for a few years now, to be fair. And this is something that we used to do many, many years. For many, many years. That's why we were called Fergie time. Because we used to do it over and over again. Won a bloody treble doing it, you know? And now Man United seem like we concede one goal. Damn, we've lost the game now. And this is what is the culture at Man United right now. And this is the problem at Man United right now is big, you know? Philip, good morning, Philip. Hope you're doing well. Big up yourself. Hope you're good. Ephraim, Sal, some of our fans are cowards. They do not tell you the solution. Ephraim, I've been there. I've come on Twitter. I've spoken on Twitter about, right, you want the manager sacked. Okay, mate, I respect your decision. Who do you want? And they won't give you an answer. They can, look, if they throw out an answer for me, they could say Glasner and they could say Areola. Okay, right, great. Has Areola played in the Champions League? No. Has Glasner played in the Champions League? No. So what I want to say is this, right? What makes you think that those managers are going to be successful at Man United? Then they're going to turn around to you and say, well, you know what? We have to do something. Yeah, but we have to make the right decision too, because it's expensive. If we sack Ruben Amorim and we get a Glasner, we get an Areola in, it's going to be like, you know what? You know, we wasted money if they fail. You know, and that's what it is, you know, and they could possibly fail. And we have to be prepared for that. We also have to be prepared for the fact that they're going to change the system. And some of the players, fan favorites, are going to be left out of the team, right? You know, one of them is going to be left out of the team. So one of them, you know, one of those players, their Player FC fan base is going to get disgruntled. And this is how it all started with Ruben Amorim. Of course, results play a big part. But this is how it all started with Ruben Amorim in regards to dropping Kobbie Mainoo and Ahmad and people like that. And people were like on him because of the Player FC affiliation and things like that, you know. There are so many different circumstances in regards to changing the manager with this fan base around that they are on a road to nowhere. Because at the end of the day, they could be killing it in the league, won 5 in a row, lose one game. Oh, he did this. He dropped Mainoo. He dropped this. And this is the problem with this fan base. I am so convinced that a majority of our social media fan base are only interested in sensationalism, being right, causing chaos, and that's all they're interested in. They're not interested in a plan, in an alternative, to debate what we're going to do next. They're not interested in that. They're not interested in the patience of football. They're not interested in that. They're just interested in now. I want it now. And like I said in the past, we live in a generation where we've got, all the apps in the world to make my skin look smoother, to make me have a six-pack, to make everything look, so quickly. We can get it like that. We can get it like that. I can send a message from here to Hong Kong in a second. The way we were raised by we have to get on a treadmill to lose that weight and get that six-pack, and which I still bloody do to this day. We had to use all the different products on our face and look after and eat well to get smooth skin. This is the new generation. I want it now generation. We need to have it now. Now, look, I understand. And I said I understand. I respect people who are Ruben Amorim out. I don't dislike people, but I don't want to be put under a label. And when I say I don't want to be put under a label, the labels are you're out or you're in. These are extremist opinions about football. This or this. Football is much, much more complicated than that. Football is much more complicated than saying you're out or you're in. I'm in the middle. I'm contextual. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, what is this? What's the problem with this? Why are we failing here? What can make it better? What's the reasons for this? Will we get better if he goes? Who's going to come in? And I like to question things. I do like to question, and I think everyone should practice it. Even if you're firmly Ruben Amorim out and you don't like him, and I've seen a lot of abuse in regards to Ruben Amorim. I've seen, he's good looking, so that's why he gets preferable treatment, which he doesn't. I've seen so many insults. I've seen he's a clown. He's a this, he's a that. And I'm like, mate, that's not a constructive argument for your point. That's not a constructive argument. And people, will always try and use slander and slurs to try and justify their narrative. And when you use slander and slurs, it just makes your narrative look weak. For example, yesterday, I had someone come on the show yesterday on the community, and his answer for me was calling me names, derogatory names, and horrible names. That was his answer to what I was saying. And I posed a very important question to him, and he couldn't answer it. So his answer was abuse. And this is what we're talking about here. There are smart people out there. Of course there is. And I think that, but what I understand is this. Real smart people, they analyze things from all angles. They don't just analyze it from a point of me. This is my opinion. I'm not going to look left. I'm not going to look right. Right. If you've got something right here, right, and you're looking down, right, and you're not looking left and looking right. If you're crossing the road, do you look left? Do you look right? You look left and right, right? Right. You look left and look right. What do? You look left, you look right, in case any cars are coming. Some people just want straight down the middle. That is what I want, and I'm going to cross it. I'm not going to look left, and I'm not going to look right because I'm right, and nothing is going to hit me. But when they do get hit with metaphorically speaking, with a couple of facts, they're not expecting it. So what happens? The defensive mechanism comes into play, and they start getting defensive. And you know what they say? The worst thing to do with a person with ego is to attack their ego. That is the worst thing you could do to an egotistical person in their point of view, because you attack their ego, they go crazy. They go defensive. They're like a barking dog that's been backed into the corner, a fox that's been backed into the corner, And this is what I would say about fans that have these extreme opinions, these extremist opinions about he's out, you're either in, and if you're in the middle, you're a coward. I mean, it's ridiculous at the end of the day, isn't it? Big up Old Trafford, how you doing, my friend? How are we doing? Again, I would like to ask you, are you Baleba? I'm still a Baleba, of course I am. Absolutely, Old Trafford. Can't they sign free agent for a 1-year deal? There ain't many out there. Man United have basically got a free agent. Ruben Neves is very cheap. If Man United managed to get him in the door, I think he'd be a great signing for Man United. I really do. I think he'd be brilliant as a stopgap option. So we can wait until the summer because we got one game a week. We ain't got European football, unfortunately. So we have to wait. We can wait in the summer. We can get the likes of Baleba, Wharton, and players like that, of course. Saviour, in January, we need to get 2 players, a midfield and a right wing back. Should sign no excuses. They need to improve the team. Manu Cachulo. Big up my friend, brother, Cachulo. What I would say this, man. You're absolutely right, Saviour. I mean, we and you, we know what we need. And supporting Man United is one of the most frustrating things in the world. And we get angry and we get frustrated because we know the problems at this football club. You know, I know. We know what we need. And now all these numbers and fiscal year profits coming out, financial year profits coming out, it just added weight to me that's great. You got all these record profits, but where's the midfielder? And that's what I'm thinking. Where's the midfielder then? You got all these profits. Oh, fantastic. Well done. Brilliant. Still in debt, but where's the midfielder? Where is it? Where's Baleba? Where is he? Why didn't you get him if we have all these profits and stuff? It's ridiculous. Ellen, too many influencers always think they guess grass is always green on the other side. Many young supporters believe a quick fix exists. It doesn't. It doesn't. And let me tell you something, as Ellen and me, who we've seen a lot of football over the years, of course, a quick fix doesn't exist. Not at this football club. Now, you can look at Thomas Frank. You can look at Tottenham Hotspur. You can start painting everything with the same brush. But at the end of the day, Tottenham Hotspur were given a blank canvas. And they were said, here's the paint brushes, here's the paint. Paint me the best picture you can possibly paint me. Man United, however, were given a broken old piece of paper and some charcoal. Now, what I want you to do with this charcoal, I want you to do me a rainbow with this charcoal. And you're like, but this charcoal's black. You go, yeah, but you can do a rainbow. Make it happen. Make it happen. Okay, I'll try my best to make it happen. I'm not guaranteed that it's going to work. You know what I mean? I'll try. And this is what we're talking about here. You can't throw someone into a sword fight with a breadstick. There's so many analogies out there. You can't drive the Formula One with a mini metro. And this is what we're talking about, And this is no quick fix. Of course, it's not a quick fix. But the problem is, Ellen, right, is that there's a certain members of this fan base, as you said, content creators, influencers who've got massive platforms, who are just there, who scream and act defensive and feel sorry for me. I'm just giving my opinion and I'm being called a fake fan because I'm giving my opinion. No, people calling you a fake fan, not because you're Ruben Amorim out, not because you're Ruben Amorim in. Let me tell you, people are calling you a fake fan because you love this. This is what you do. This is what you thrive on. This is what you want. This is why you're on Sky Sports. This is why you're on Talk Sport. This is why, because of what you're doing right now. This is what it is. And this is what the problem is with them. And they act all defensive. People are calling me a fake fan because I have a different opinion to them. I could sit on their channel and have a different opinion to them. I could sit on their channel and school them, but then they're going to get defensive. And that's what it is at the end of the day, unless you change your opinion to theirs. Big up, Ellen. Sal, they said we want a manager with a philosophy. Now they say that their formation is a problem. Some of our fans are flip-flopper. I mean, mate, they should be working in Burger King because all they do is flip-flop, and that's what I say. Or they should be working at a beach where they sell flip-flops. What I would say is this, right? When Erik ten Hag was the manager of Manchester United, what was the overriding narrative out there? He has no tactics. He has no system. He has no tactics. Any manager will win the league with this team. That was the narrative, right? Now, his tactics are shit. His tactics are not good. I don't like his tactics. Erik ten Hag came out and said, right, that I can't play the Ajax way because I don't have the players to do it. And people slandered Erik ten Hag for saying that. They went in on Ten Hag for saying that. Now, Ruben Amorim's trying to do his system with even the players that are not fitting his system. He needs to change it. He needs to change it now. He needs to change it now. He can't do it. No. He needs to change it. 4-3-3. You're on the road to nowhere with these guys. And that's what I'm saying. It's, you can't teach people IQ. You can't teach them knowledge. You can only speak and give them some kind of wisdom. Because at the end of the day, I would love someone to come up to me and say, look, I'm Ruben Amrabat. I'll go, why are you Ruben Amrabat? I'm Ruben Amrabat because of da, and I believe da. So what was your solution to this? I believe that this will happen and we should get this guy because he's this. And that's what I want to see. I don't want to see like, okay, all right, you want him out. Great. He's a this, he's a bum, he's a this, and whatever it is. So what's your solution? And it's blanked. Complete silence. It's like a ball of hay going across the street in Texas. And that's what it is. Ellen, we want to get back to the top after a year manager, get back for at least 4 years. And this is the problem, Ellen. The overriding issue is this, right? It's not just the social media fans, because some of these social media fans and some of these content creators, they're on Sky Sports. They're on Talk Sport. Then that's why they need to get me, who's got a proper opinion about it, just to add a little bit of competition in regards to what they're saying. Because basically, this is what Talk Sport and Sky Sports are. That's right. That's right. I get you with that one. That's what they are. They don't want anyone challenging their narrative. And that's what it is. So when these people, content creators and all these other ones, they go on Sky, they go on Talk Sport, then what's going to happen, isn't it? It's going to feed out to the Glazers. It's going to feed out to Jim Ratcliffe. And Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers and Ineos, even though they shouldn't, the pressure is going to be on them. The pressure is going to be on them to say, oh, look, the noise is becoming too big with the fan base. We need to make a move. And that's what's going to happen. And that's great. Okay. As I said, we sack him. We sack him. And I'll see you in a year. And that's what it is. Morning, Paul. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you again, of course. More big up. Big up, Benny. How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. United to move quickly for a start. John Push, United to move quickly for a start. They should move quickly, yes. Absolutely. Please don't forget that Rude also got sacked. Ineos have already sacked 2 managers. Yeah. In regards to Ruben, obviously Ruben van Nistelrooy has been sacked at Leicester as well. But look, I think Ruben van Nistelrooy was, he wasn't sacked. He walked. He had to go because he was an interim. So they got rid of him. They just didn't offer him a contract. So he wasn't sacked. They just got rid of him because obviously they wanted their own manager in there. In regards to Ruben Amorim, after 8-9 months, he's gonna, if it goes to Chelsea on Saturday, I fear for him. I do fear for him. I fear for him on Saturday. I do believe that if he loses to Chelsea, the pressure is going to be overwhelming. It's going to be overwhelming. We're all going to be upset. Of course we are. But not to do with me, because I'm not the one they have to worry about. I think there's going to be thousands of people out there, hundreds of thousands of people out there around the world who are going to be saying, get him out, sack him now. And this is what I didn't want, Part of me feels, I liked football when we didn't know, any other opinions. And we just want the paper, read the paper, throw the paper away. And that's basically what it is. I kind of liked it when it was like that, because no matter what, people have already made up their mind with Ruben Amorim. And if Ruben Amorim goes on a winning streak of 5 games, right? All right, let's say this, guys. Let me give you this scenario, okay? Let's say Man United beat Chelsea, Man United beat Brentford, Man United beat Sunderland, okay? Let's say this, right? And then we go and lose to Liverpool. Despite winning those 3 games, people are going to be like, get him out, get him out of the club, losing to Liverpool like that, get him out of the club. They're going to do that, even though we won the previous 3 games. This is my argument with it. And this is why I didn't think that Ineos should have come out and said, he's got 3 games to save his job, which I believe it was them, because I believe they did plant that seed in, that he's got 3 games to save his job. This is why I believe they shouldn't have done that, Big up, Ellen. Big up, Bruno should be dropped for comment this last week. He should be dropped, absolutely. He should be dropped, yeah. Damien, Martinez should play in midfield. He's not quite ready yet. He's back in October. He's not fit yet, of course. Mark Gemini, this week I don't want Bruno on the pitch for his attitude and comments. I think you are all absolutely spot on. I don't think that Bruno should be playing against Chelsea. There should be a line that you don't cross at Man United. And if it was Sir Alex Ferguson, the line would be, if you cross that line, you'd probably be at the football club. Let's be honest, guys. Stum, who won a treble at Man United, was kicked out the bloody football club for one little remark in the book, which he said was misinterpreted. You know, and this is what we're talking about. Bruno should not be let off the hook. Bruno should be told under uncertain circumstances that you do not speak to the media about our players and our team. You are not the manager. Yeah, you're the captain. You're the captain, right? Great. You come into the dressing room and you speak your piece, right? In particular, the fact of the matter is that he's going out there and he's making mistakes himself. He's given away 3 goals this season. You know, and this is what we're talking about, you know, and you need to take accountability for yourself, you know. Old Trafford, players are bad in capitalizing crosses. He may tweak formation and keep it simple, just win games and get on with it. Exactly. That's all we need to do. Winning games is the great remedy. It's the great equalizer. It's the thing that will shut everyone up. Now, some Man United fans out there have already made their opinions pretty clear. And they're not going to backtrack from that. Even if Ruben Amorim wins 3 games in a row, they're going to find a narrative to counter it and say, well, you know what? Chelsea are not that good. Chelsea are this. If we beat Chelsea, you watch the excuses come out. Well, you know what? Chelsea played at the midweek. They played against Bayern Munich. And if we beat Sunderland, well, it's Sunderland. What do you expect? We're meant to beat Sunderland. We beat Brentford. Oh, Brentford are not the same team without Thomas Frank. We're not going to win. They're going to have that narrative there forever now. They put their head first. And the problem with these fans, and we all know who they are, they're not going to change their opinion. Now, look, guys. And as I said at the beginning of the show, at the top of the show, I said, I'm in the middle, right? Because I'm seeing things from all sides. I'm in the middle. I'm not extreme in my opinions. I'm not in, I'm not out. I'm Manchester United in the middle. And if Ruben Amorim fits this, then absolutely brilliant. If he doesn't, then next. And that's what it is at the end of the day. You know, we have to also remember, Ruben Amorim will be fine. Ruben Amorim's a millionaire. He'll be fine. He'll go somewhere else. He'll be fine. I myself want time. I believe he should have time. I agree he should have time. But I also agree with you. Football is a results game as well. You know, and you can't keep losing football matches. You can't. You know, and that's the thing, because we need to try and get into Europe. And as Jim Ratcliffe said, Jim Ratcliffe has already put a huge pressure on Ruben Amorim by saying that we should get into the Champions League with this team. Ridiculous statement. But it's what he said. And that is what he expects, you know? Big up, Leeson. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Long time. Hey, Sal. We lack strong leadership on the pitch who can motivate our players when things go wrong. Coach is not the problem. I agree, Leeson. And you know as well as I do that we used to have 11 captains on the pitch. We don't have even one captain on the pitch that can influence and inspire. We don't. And that's something that we've been missing for many, many years. A proper captain that can inspire. Not make you feel bad about yourself. Not make you feel like, you know what, I want to get off the pitch now. But inspire you to go and do better. The gold band should be held high. Absolutely. Big up Old Trafford. I think Amorim needs to start Lamens, drop Bruno and Shaw. I agree. Absolutely agree with that. He does. If Amorim is not here anymore, will Baleba still be our main target? Yes, because the targets of Manchester United in regards to transfer targets are mainly done by Wilcox, Vivell and Barada. It has nothing to do with Ruben Amorim. He has a small say in it. His opinion does count, but mainly it's to do with those 3 and Jim Ratcliffe, of course. Old Trafford, the dominance in the game, what Man U team should use to be, was missing post Alex Ferguson and pre-Amorim. However, glimpses of dominance is seen during Amorim's period. However, we are unable to capitalize. Now, look, there's one quote that I understand. We are dominating games, but we're not winning games. And unfortunately, apart from the Man City game where we dominated for about 20 minutes and then we just fell off with a mistake. And it obviously, guys, I say it 100,000 times in a row. You know what it is? Small margins decide football games. And small margins are the difference between winning and losing. I actually believe that. When we conceded the goals against Man City, we knew that we were put under extreme pressure. You know what I mean? Morning, Joe. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I hope to see Lamens this Saturday in goal. And personally, I think these players will throw Ruben under the bus, I think they already are, Joe. I think they already are. And I think people are naive not to see that. And I said when Ten Hag was the manager, I said it, and many other people said it as well, is that these players will throw Ten Hag under the bus, and they're going to throw the next manager under the bus. Now, people may say, but Sal, they signed different players. This is culture at the football club that gets passed on like a virus down. It gets passed on, right? And this is a habit of the football club. This is a culture of the football club. Like Everton not winning trophies, it's a habit of the football club, a culture of the football club, you know? And that is what it is. Like Newcastle waiting 50 years for a trophy, that's their culture, that's their heritage. Man United's culture and heritage now is throwing managers under the bus. When the going gets tough, we blame out everyone else. We don't take a look at ourselves. And that is what it is at the end of the day. I already think that some of those players, including our captain, are throwing Ruben Amorim under the bus. If Bruno Fernandes was not throwing Ruben Amorim under the bus, why did he take it upon himself to say that, you know what, the system was bad because we had 4 against 2? Why would he say that? What's the point of doing that in the media? Why would you do that in the media? What are you going to gain with that? Do it behind the scenes. Have a chat. Look, Louis van Gaal, right? Whatever we think about Louis van Gaal used to ask players advice. He used to say, what do you think? He used to get opinions of players. That's what he used to do. That was one of his characteristics. He used to ask players, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? If we do that, what do you think of this and that? This is what it should happen at Man United right now. This is what I like, because Ruben Amorim should say, guys, look, my system has worked with me my whole career, right? Sporting Lisbon, Braga, it's worked. It's worked in the Champions League as well. I want your opinions, guys, because we are a team. Well, not me, I'm the manager. Granted, I picked the team, but I want to know your opinions. What's your problem? And you know that they're going to do this, they're going to say that, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, you know? And I know that we should try and get an opinion. And what we should do, if those players don't want to play that system, if any of those players put up their hand and they say, I don't like the system. So, okay. Transfer list. Goodbye. That is it. Right? And that's what he should do. And what he should do is play the system in a temporary way, whether it's a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, whatever it is, play the system in a different system, and then at the end of the system, say, right, these guys need to go. And that's it. Alberto, buenos dias. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. But Bruno is not even our top 3 best CAM. He might even have been in the past, but not sure. I believe if he keeps the 3-4-3, he should go to Mainoo and Cass. Amorim needs to start the best 11. I agree, Alberto. Great comment, by the way, Alberto. Look, there is an elephant in the room here, Alberto. There's an elephant in the room that Bruno Fernandes should play by hook or by crook. He should play regardless. People like me think he should be dropped now. And I thank Bruno Fernandes for what he's done at this football club, because he has been our best signing post Sir Alex Ferguson. That is without a doubt. But I feel like now it's coming to the end. And I feel like now we need to look forward, Alberto. And you make some good points there, because we're trying to justify Bruno in the team. We shouldn't be justifying anyone into the team. We shouldn't be trying to force people into the team. We shouldn't be doing that. That's not how it should be. It should be a natural. Like back in the day, like you say Dennis Irwin, you know, you say it's Jaap Stam, Ronnie Johnson, Gary Neville, you know, David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, Ryan Giggs, Dwight York, Andy Cole. Off the cuff, right? These days, it's like, don't really want him to play. He can't play there, but, you know, we can play him there. He might be a little bit better there, you know, and stuff. And it's like, come on, man. We just need players that can want to play football and win football matches. And that's what it is at the end of the day, you know. Big up, Alberto. Thank you so much here. Don't forget to like the stream, guys. Thank you so much. Big up, Alberto, legend, of course. Big up, Ellen. Thank you, Ellen. You absolute legend, of course, as well. Of course, you're all legends. Bruno always starts the season shit. He did last season as well. Still think he should get mobbed to the bench after what he said. He can come on an impact. One thing I'll say, Ellen, is that he was dropped to the bench a couple of times back here. I think it was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer period. And he came back stronger, Ellen. You know, he came back stronger. I think he needs to do that again. The last time I can remember right? There's only a couple of times. There's been the Grimsby game and there's been the game against Barnsley. And Bruno Fernandes was dropped for that game. We won 7-1 against Barnsley. And it was one of our best performances in recent memory, in recent history. You know what I mean? I have to say. Old Trafford. Bruno needs to be sold to Saudi if they still want him, of course. If we can't sign Baleba in January, Ineos should improve our midfield by bringing a good midfielder than playing Bruno. I agree, Saviour. I do, my friend. Good to see you. Mark, we could take Baleba on loan with an obligation to buy in July, August if we are short of money this tax year. Exactly, Mark. There's no reason that Man United can't come with even a gentleman's agreement, a verbal agreement right now with an obligation to buy Baleba in January or August. There's no reason why we can't do that, because we know, as you know as well as I do, that the noises around Liverpool now are starting to get more potent. Liverpool wanted Baleba a year ago, and they were very close to signing Baleba. It was actually nearly a here we go. I remember it, you know, and they didn't end up getting him for whatever reason. And Liverpool are now hovering around, and Liverpool are a very attractive proposition at the moment. They must be for other players, of course. When you're looking at the outside, you're looking at Man United right now. We have to be real with ourselves. Are Man United an attractive proposition for potential suitors? You know, so we have to start being smart and start getting agreements done before, like Chelsea did with Quenda. They got him done. They're not signed Quenda yet, but they got him done. He's a Chelsea player. He will come, you know? That's what we need to do. Big up, Mark. Bruno Fernandes isn't a leader. He doesn't lead by example. Big up. Future Rise 369, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. If Amram is there or not, they should target players like Baleba, Lukeba, good player, Van der Van, Semenya, these type of players. We want who are fast, who can run full day. It's that easy. I agree, Future Rise. In the Premier League these days, you need athleticism, right? You need speed, you need fitness, as well as talent, of course. It's very important. And I agree with that, Future Rise. I agree. I believe in Mbeumo and Cunha. I think Mbeumo and Cunha are fantastic signings. I think they are. But I understand what you mean. Lukeba, Baleba, all these players, Javi Guerra, Yorigiza, Lamine Kamara, Luciano Gume. There's loads of players out there, Adam Wharton, who will fit Man United much better and will help Man United. Right now, there's no coincidence that we have slow midfield that we're struggling. You know, we're struggling with this slow midfield, and we do need to bring in players. We do need to bring in more players who are more athletic, more quick. Great comment, Future Rise. And Marky Mark, bless you, my brother. Marky Mark, thank you so much for the super chat. You're an absolute legend. Really appreciate you every day. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. And it goes straight towards the channel. Thank you so much, my guy. Really appreciate you. You're a legend, my guy. Morning, Sal, and the community. How are you, my friend? Neves would be a great stopgap. I hope he gets it right this weekend. Keep out great work. Thank you, Marky Mark, and thank you for your super chat again. Look, this Chelsea game, I'm tired, Marky Mark. I don't know about you, but I'm tired. You know, I'm tired of the negativity. I'm tired of having to answer people on Twitter. You know, revisionism. You know, people coming out to me with quotes about Ten Hag, and you said this about Ten Hag, and this and that, and blah, 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 blah. People just... they're there for like buzzwords, and that's what they live by, you know, and that's what they do. I would love Ruben Amorim to go out on Saturday, pick the right team, win the game against Chelsea, win the game against Brentford, win the game against Sunderland. Happy days. But I know as well as you do, Mark, you know, that we can win all those games, but we're going to play Liverpool. And look, we might lose to Liverpool. And I want people to understand that. We might not. We drew last year. But we might lose to Liverpool. I don't. If we win the next 3 games, I don't want people turning around after the Liverpool game and saying, "Oh, no, you're doing it wrong. He should go." Blah, blah, blah. Because we know that's what's going to happen, you know. And I don't agree with it. And you know, I just hope that Saturday we can have a different narrative. We can have a different vibe, you know. And we're winning the game and we're happy, you know. Big up, Marky Mark, and again. Thank you for your generosity. I really appreciate it, guys. Don't forget, you can become a member like Marky Mark. Guys, I've got a lot of great material coming up. Fantastic material. Great collaborations as well coming up as well, guys. And great for the members as well, guys. So don't forget, you can become a member. And thank you so much, everyone who supports the channel. Marky Mark, you legend. Thank you so much. Philip, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Sal, United financial year came out yesterday. We made 666. That's more than any other club. So how can we be skint? I told Philip a long time ago. I told you, Philip, we're not skint. I told many people a long time ago. I've been talking about it when we've got money. I think, Philip, I think I was telling people during the summer, and people were here who could remember. We've got money. We've got money. We're not broke. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for this stupid manipulation and things like that. And I was telling people, it was a lie. It was a manipulation tactic, Philip. We're going to be out of business by December. Oh, buzz, sensationalist. And that's what it was. Yeah, but all that money, right? All that money, has it got us a midfielder? They need to get a midfielder. Absolutely, Philip. Marky Mark. I say we just back the manager, Sal. I agree. I like Amram, and to me, he is the one to get the rot out of the club. I mean, Mark, I'm going to be backing the manager all the way. You're not going to hear me say, Ruben Amrabat, get him out of my club. You're not going to hear me anything like that coming out of my mouth. Even if we lose to Chelsea, if we don't win in the next 3 games. You're not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I just can't be bothered. I don't think it does anything to help anything and to help the situation. I don't believe it does. But I know there's going to be content creators out there, and there's going to be people out there screaming their lungs off, maybe because they don't get on with their wives at home. I don't know, but they just take it out on the social media platform. And that's what they do. I don't know, but I just hope that he wins. I just hope he starts winning some games. Absolutely. Gary, how many managers do we have to go through to learn that the player power is killing us? Now we're about to sacrifice yet another and get a good manager in Ruben because the darkness is still with us. Yeah. And as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, if one thing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, which was correct, it was that it only takes one apple to destroy the apple bowl, the fruit bowl. There you go. And that's what it is. There are still people at that football club, some people at the football club that we don't expect to be a bomb squad member. I actually believe we have a bomb squad member. Honest to God, we actually have people in our football club right now that are behind the scenes doing manipulating things. I really do. Benny, big up, absolutely. Big up. Futurize. I didn't know who the manager will be if we don't bring in the players like Semenyo Van der Ven. Van der Ven is brilliant, by the way, at Tottenham. Baleba will not improve. You can play any formation. It doesn't matter. Great players, Futurista. Great players playing any formation. You think Zinedine Zidane cared about formation? You think Eka Davids, Clarence Seedorf, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane cared about formations? They didn't. It's a new school thing where people don't want to take accountability for their mishaps, for the way that they're playing. They don't want to take accountability for it. And they just want to point the finger. Samuel, Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Diego Dalot, Harry Maguire, Sancho, Manuel Ugarte in January transfer window. Need to go. I agree, Samuel. I agree, brother. Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, thank you for everyone for joining me today. I really appreciate you. Don't forget, I'll be back later on in regards to Chatterbox. Morning, Dembo. Morning, everyone. Marky Mark. We grew in the Alex Ferguson era, Sal, so we know about patience. Nothing great happens overnight. We do, Marky Mark. But it's a bit like trying to squeeze water out of a stone when you're trying to explain it to people. What you get, the buzz thing you get, oh my goodness me, he's trying to compare Ruben Amorim with Alex Ferguson. That's how dumb they are. That's how low IQ they are. That's what it is. And that's where we go with it. And that's what it is. Like me and you, Marky Mark. We've been there. We've seen it, won the T-shirt. We saw the banners against Alex Ferguson. We were there, and we knew what happened. If the minority were listened to, let's be honest, Marky Mark, hardly any of these fan base will be here with us today. They'd be supporting someone else. Big up Marky Mark and big up everyone in the stream, guys. I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, guys. I will be back later on for Chatterbox and Devil's Digest. Don't forget about Devil's Digest, guys. And thank you, Ellen, for the beautiful super chat. You're very kind. Next beer on me, Sal. Thank you so much. Let's manifest a good match against Chelsea. Come on, Ellen. That is what we're looking for. Guys, Later on today, I've got the match preview between Manchester United and Chelsea. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to predict my lineup, and I want to get your lineups in and stuff like that as well, and get your opinions later on, of course, 4 o'clock UK time. Guys, thank you, Ellen, for the beautiful super chat. I'm going to enjoy that drink, and you are all legends, and I really appreciate every one of you. You are very, very generous, of course, guys. Absolutely. Big up Essex Red. Club needs to be sold. Absolutely. Big up Lord Rodney. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're good. Guys, thank you so much, everyone. Much love to you all. I'll be back later on. Sorry I can't read out everyone's message, guys. I got to go for a meeting. So take it easy and have a lovely day. And I'll see you for Devil's Digest, and then I'll see you for the match preview later on. Take it easy, guys. Have a great day. Peace.